more open, expansive, like the relaxation and the grounding. And today we're going to work on centering. So when the energy comes in to do a 100-pound job that you've never done before, and you identify as a 20-pound little person, then the principles help you to open your channels up and open your space up so that you can, at least be ready for this unknown, this big 100-pound gorilla that's coming after you. And believe me, it'll feel fantastic when you get it done, because you'll be a bigger person. You'll realize that I was thinking too small about myself. Really, a 100-pound person, 100-pound gorilla myself. So from experience, when I was first got my black belt in 1977, my teacher immediately said, okay, you're going to take over class on Friday night. I mean, I was a student. That's it. A little person, a little baby student. Even though I had a black belt now, I still didn't feel like I knew anything. And the teacher, the big teacher, who's, he's like amazing God, he's telling me to be a teacher. Are you kidding? I'm just a little thing. I'm a little student. So anyway, he forced me. In those days, teachers forced you to do stuff. Today, you can't get away with that. And he pushed me. It's like a duck who wants her baby to learn to swim, and they say, no, I'm scared. They push him into the water and they sink or swim, basically. He was hardcore like that. And here I am, I'm going to China and teaching workshops to 100 people. We had 1,200 people in a conference. I had to give a speech, and I never give speeches. I teach, I get out there and move around with people. They wanted me to stand in front of 1,200 Chinese people in southern China and give a speech about Aikido. I was absolutely terrified. I know exactly, and that was just last year, Sneha. So after 30, 40 years of teaching Aikido, I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. So anyway, it was time to practice. Hey, I can give a speech. I never did it before, not like that. And it was amazing. It was fantastic, actually. I was in like this blissful space for the rest of the workshop, the rest of the trip there, because that was like the first thing I had to do, was give this big speech, get off the plane and give that speech to the 1,200 people in a huge conference room. Wow. So I'm just telling you, you never get over this anxiety or nervousness, because that anxiety is, we're going to talk about this next week when we get into energy, but the anxiety is the energy. That's all it is. It's just you're getting hit with a lot of energy. We have to make ourselves, we're getting tense. It's almost like we're like going, oh, I'm not used to this much energy. Stop. We do something, we tense up, we lock up inside. We tell ourselves, no, I'm not big enough. I'm not good enough. Right? It's all BS, actually. So it is. But you don't know that until you go through this. It's like you go through a storm, and you come out the other side, and everything's all cleaned up, and the air is clean, and maybe there's a lot of some damage, but it's like there's been a change. You've changed. Okay, so what we're working with Aikido is like transformation. We don't say those words so much in Aikido, but that's kind of a good buzzword, right? Transformation. We're actually learning to help give us the tools to go through these transformations that are going to occur anyway, whether we like them or not. Right? We're required in life to change. And there's something in us that says, no, I don't want to change. I want to stay small, or I want to stay comfortable. And so Sneha has given me a wonderful opportunity to give you a little spiel, a speech. And it really works when we practice. And it works easier when we just practice a little more regularly. It's like you learn to take in more energy. You learn to relax, and the little things. I actually have a slide that says, if you learn to be calm, you learn to be relaxed on the calm days, or you practice on the calm days, you'll be prepared for the difficult days.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, SueAnn. This is really helpful. Thank you.
Okay, great. It's my pleasure. I love doing this. So today I was is the third principle. Are we recording? Okay.
Yes.
Aikido. Get my slides up here for a minute. Oh, am I sharing or are you sharing? You have my
You can
slides.
share. Yeah, I've given
Okay.
you the.
Okay.
Ann,
Yes, yes. Hi, Lauren.
hi. Just a quick question. I was wondering if we have access to the slides that you've been sharing in class.
I have
Heard.
I've Sneha, I share the PDF of the
Yeah,
slides with
Okay.
Sneha, and I can also send them to everybody, Sneha, but I don't have everybody's email.
I can
But
send them
yeah,
to you. So
you have
Sue,
all.
I've created a Facebook group for all of us. I just created it recently, so maybe I could also add you there, so we can just share PDFs and videos over there, and communication can go on there.
Okay, add me and
Yeah.
I'll just post them there instead of sending them to
Perfect.
you. I'll post them on Facebook. So add
Perfect.
me to that group too. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
that's a great idea. If you guys have questions or you want to just share something during the week, that'd be a great place to do it. Um, usually at Sofia, we always, I think maybe we could do this next week because we would always kind of check in at the middle of the, remember that's Neha and Laura rather. We would check in, at least I tried to remember to do it, at the center, at the middle of the course of the session of the semester. And basically, it's just to see, so we're at the halfway point. We're not quite there because after today, we'll be at the halfway. It's to see how everybody's doing. If you're, if the pace is too fast, if it's too slow, if you're kind of getting questions piling up, things you don't understand, this is a good time. Maybe we will just do it now since we're in that mode and everybody's here actually. How you're doing, just to check in. You could just say good. You could give me one word or a couple words. Let's just kind of go around and give me a little weather report, how it's going for you, how the class is going for you. You guys want me to call on you?
I'll start.
Okay, Rika.
So it's going really good for me, actually. I tried the grounding practice that we did last class. I've actually been practicing that mindfully, even when I'm doing things like my regular workout or I do yoga. It's like twice or thrice a week, and it's really, really, really helping me. Like just to feel like the parts that are on the ground, to really feel the under part of it. And that walk that we did where we felt the heel touch the ground and then the ball point, that really helped me in all my practices. And just whenever I was feeling like anxious or just like a bad day, I try to like feel connected to the ground. And then you spoke about feeling like that roots are growing. So I actually tried that during the week whenever I was feeling anxious, and it actually took my mind off those thoughts and helped me feel more grounded. So it really helped me personally.
Great, awesome. Thank you, Rika.
I guess I'll go next. Um, I'm just enjoying learning more about this because sometimes I feel anxious too, and that's not sometimes I struggle like with the anxious energy. So it's just I'm just enjoying it because if I feel really anxious, then I can use the practices that I learned from this class. So
Okay,
I'm
good.
enjoying the energy work.
All right, good. Just remember, anxiety is energy. It's anxiety is energy in a tense body, and flow is energy in a relaxed, centered, grounded body. Okay, So we do have control over that, whether we're anxious or not. We do. Okay. Thank you, Lauren.
Okay.
Mhm. Anybody else?
I'll go. So the breathing techniques that you had taught us about in the first week have really helped me a lot. And even what you said the last week, to be like a mountain. So anytime during the week, while I was working, I was having these I was getting really angry or upset with the situation that I was in. And, because of the external factors and whatever is happening, I reminded myself of, how I need to like just take a break and just breathe and realize that, I need to focus right now on what it is rather than being upset. So yeah, it has helped me a lot.
Great. Good. You guys probably have heard of the doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we're talking about. Vata is anxiety, air, too much thinking, too much up here. Pitta is the anger, and Kapha is more the grounded calmness. But Kapha, when it goes out of balance, is lazy and inert and doesn't act. So they all have like a problem to them if we're one or the other. So that nobody gets off clean, perfect. But in Aikido, we say there's fight and flight. So Pitta is fighting, right? You get mad. You want to do something about the situation. You just want to fight it. And Vata is you want to run away from it. You're scared of it. You get anxious, right? So Aikido today we'll be working on the centering, which is I feel like running away, come to center. I feel like coming out and telling that person to go to hell. No, come back to center,
Yeah.
So keep that in mind that Kapha is actually kind of a calm centering, but we want to be centered and energized. That's why, we want to get in touch with this energy because Kapha can go into kind of a snooze when they get too calm. All right. So those are.
Yeah. I was just going to check in real quick and just say that it's good to be back. I missed you last week, and
Oh, yeah.
the just trying to work with like this chronic contraction in my body, this pattern of reactivity, and finding that center. Yeah. Which for me is always a somatic practice.
Where's the contraction, Laura?
Well, I mean, it can be all through my body. It's usually contracting against emotion that I feel is incongruent with what my behavior needs to be. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it will show up almost always in my gut.
Oh, okay.
Almost always in my gut, but now it's been in my throat, like feeling like an inflammation in my throat or yeah.
So you're very aware of the tension and contraction that I'm talking about.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, Sneha, do you have something you want to share?
Oh, I've already shared. I'm just nervous about what's coming up, but it's yeah. I did try the exercise from last week a couple of times, and I realized whenever I would try it, I would not feel balanced, and so it was just helping me stay aware, stay in touch or bring me back in touch with where I was in that moment, how unbalanced I was feeling in that moment, and of course practicing that helped me stay more in touch with that moment and help me regain my balance, basically. The footwork that we did.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. All righty. Thank you all. I think that was a good check-in. I feel I'm sort of up to speed with where everybody is. And let's do our little bow. I want to add something that we do in the dojo. Okay, so in the dojo, we would bow to the altar and say Rei, the So I say Ray and bow, and you guys bow. And then we do another bow. And then we do 4 claps. Okay, so it'd just be like, okay, let's do that together. Here we go. And then I say Onegai shimasu.
Nigashima.
And then you say it back, okay?
Onegai
Can you feel the hands from clapping? So the claps in Japan, people, when they visit a shrine, they have shrines everywhere in Japan. They just go up to the shrine, ring the bell, and do 4 claps. And that's meant to awaken the deities in the shrine that they're praying to. So you could say that we are surrounded by deities, by divine energy, say. We would say energy, but you know, in other countries, they see them as deities. They anthropomorphize them. And we have these deities in Aikido. And they're, you know, you could say that there's a ground deity and there's an energy ki deity. There's a deity for relaxation and a deity for blending. And when we feel, you know, anxious or upset, we can maybe just realize that there's deities surrounding us that want to help us, want to remind us, and they do. We get situations exactly what we need to help us grow. Have you noticed that in life? Even a really challenging situation in the moment, you may not see it as what you need, but later you realize, God, I really needed that person in my life, even though they wrecked it for a while, but they really woke me up. They really made me see things I couldn't see without them, things like that. So if you want to think in terms of sort of an energy helpers around us, that's what we're doing when we clap and we bow and say Onegai shimasu. Okay, so today we're working on centering. Aikido, we talk about the center line and the center in the gut, the belly center. They call it hara. But I like also to include the heart and head. You know, kind of, you know, there's 7 chakras or 8 chakras or 12 chakras or whatever. But it's very easy to connect with a gut center, a heart center, and a head center, right? We all know we have a thinking center and a feeling center and a sensing center. But in martial arts, unanimously, the gut is where we always start and where we focus, okay? Because the gut center is intelligent about energy, but also about problems like power trips, vibrations, people's vibes. Say somebody with creepy vibes. You feel that in your body, right? Okay, your body feels, oh God, this person isn't safe. Now, sometimes our brain, our head center will imagine things. So we have to learn to know the difference between a real sensation of a creep you shouldn't trust, and you're just projecting your father or your brother or some neighbor onto that person. You know what I'm saying? So I like to differentiate the centers. I'm really sensing something creepy here or something weird here. I better leave the situation. That's not running away. That's being smart, having common sense. So we work on our gut. So when we do all these exercises with our body, like turning our hips, and think about there's a center, we're really wanting to touch in and tune in and start to, and grounding. When we ground, we drop into this gut center automatically. So keep that in mind, that you're not just grounding and connecting with the earth, you're connecting in with your power pack, like a generator of awareness and energy. So it both gives you energy, like it's a reservoir of energy in the gut, but it's also the ability to tune into the environment. Our heads cannot see things in the environment like energy, right? But our gut can feel them, can sense them. See what I mean? So this is like the practice, a good practice of the week. So what I say here, remember to breathe, visualize, and move. So when we do our warm up, kind of focus on, we've already been into breathing, but we use visualizations too. If you notice, it kind of like, it's not thinking about something. It's actually when we visualize, like for instance, if you just feel your hand right now, just wherever it is, just feel your hand. Just be present with your hand. And imagine that the tips of your fingers are open and something is flowing out of those tips. And you may get a different sensation because you're using a visualization. I'm actually feeling the tips of my fingers feel like they're buzzing. They're getting longer. Something is stretching my fingers. All I did was imagine an opening at the end of my fingers, and then something starts happening, see? So visualization, we use visualization to facilitate an experience. It's not to have a pretty picture in the head. It's actually a feeling. We're using visualization to ground us or anchor us more in the body. And then movement, because we're moving our body, it's hard not to feel it, right? When we make those slow steps, like the heel to toe step, it's really, that movement facilitates grounding. Okay, you get the picture? So I kind of see these as the three basic foundational tools of becoming more relaxed, grounded, centered, and extending ki, which we'll work on next week. Well, we're working on it already, but okay. So, gosh, I forgot to expand this. But anyway, here's our warm-ups, and I'll stop sharing so we can stand up and couple of new things here, a couple of old things here, so we can get a little bit more familiar with some of the more complex practices. All right, so I'm going to stop the share. And everybody, we're not sharing, right? You can see me okay? Oh, no, you can't see me? Should I put it on speaker view? How's that? Okay. All right. I gotta put this aside so I can see everybody. There we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, I always like to start, everybody hear me okay? Yeah. I like to start with the earth. So feeling your feet. Just a nice, comfortable stance, nothing too wide or too narrow, right under the legs, under the hips. Feel your breath. Let's just do a couple of breaths into our hara. Big breath. And put one hand on your lower back and feel the breath go back into the lower back. Like a big ball expanding and forward and back. Let your knees bend. Sort of pulse them a little to make sure that they're unlocked, flexible. Now feel that there's a center, we call it the hara, right below the belly button. It's the whole pelvic region, sacrum, lower back. And just by using our attention, our mind, our attention is really a better word. We're attending, we're letting our focus go to this lower belly. And as we attend to the lower belly, and I'm using a visualization of a ball expanding as we breathe in And it expands on all sides, on the left and right side, and the front and back. And with each breath, it deepens, it widens, it gets more expansive. And as we exhale, let the belly, let the ball get small, and feel it expand a bit more as we inhale. You may feel that if you had any anxiety, that it was sort of melting away as we breathe into the belly. As it gets bigger, the space inside, the anxiety is like kind of like an iceberg, just all the pieces breaking off and reunifying with the ocean. Now let's extend our hands to the side, bend the knees a little bit and breathe in. And now let's feel as if that breath can come up the center line, up through the top of the head, above the head into the ceiling. And then as if that breath, like an elevator, can go down through a tall building, or like a tall building, it can go down, and it can go down into the basement below our feet. And as we breathe in, the elevator can come back up, out through the top of the head, high, up into the balcony or attic, and then back down. So we have two meanings for center, the belly center and also this sense of a vertical line where energy flows up and down. Heavenly energy comes down and earthly energy comes up. Now just pause for a minute. See if you feel a little bit deeper and a little bit taller. Okay, so we were like visualizing, right? The center line growing, going up through the top of our head, down through the bottom of our feet. Now take a bigger step out so that we're in a wide, remember the square stance, and let your weight just shift side to side. Just check your knees out, stretch them out a little bit. So we're just going to go side to side, stretching, not going too far so the knees get uncomfortable. And then bring your hands together as if you're stirring a huge pot in front of yourself. And you're using your whole body to turn that big spoon. You're using your hips, you're using your belly, you're using your feet and legs. Now let's go the other way. So reversing, whole body's involved with this circling, turning, churning. Imagine there's some resistance. You have to, like a thick soup, you have to churn and turn, stir with that huge spoon. Okay. Now we're going to go back the other way. And I want you to just feel like you're making a big circle around yourself. And you're picking it up on the other side. It's going all the way around you. And then you pick up that circle on the other side. And you're in the center now of the pot. Stirring behind you, in front. You're turning to pick up the circle. There it goes. All around your midsection. Now let's go the other way. Feel your feet connected to the earth. The circle expanding all around you. You're the center of a big sphere of energy. Okay. Now bring your feet a little closer together. We're just going to make little soft fists. And we're going to come up, bend the knees, and sort of fold a little bit at the waist. So let your arms swing behind and down, behind, up and back. And you can fold a little bit more. Get a good back stretch. And bend the knees and fold a little bit more, whatever's comfortable. But let your arms be very relaxed. Let them swing. Let your head go too. So your head comes up and the head goes down. Breathe out as you go down. Breathe in as you come up. Okay. What else is there? Oh yeah, okay. Okay, so let's bring our feet, feeling a little bit more juiced up. So I call this universal center on the, so we're just letting your arms first wrap around. You're turning, rotating your hips like we worked on the last couple weeks. Keeping your arms nice and relaxed, kind of floppy. And you let them, the arms tap your kidney section in the back. Okay. And with the back of my hand sort of hitting my kidneys. In the front, we're tapping the spleen and liver, pancreas. In Chinese medicine, these are really important places to loosen up, you know. We get tension in our organs. So kidneys are all about fear. So when you guys are feeling anxiety, this would be a great exercise to do, or you could just do this along your kidneys. I do that every morning when I wake up, but especially when I'm feeling uptight or anxious about something, scared, or I'm thinking about the future. I'll do this. And here on the right side is your liver. That's anger. So the pitta energy gets stuck in here. So you can kind of go from the ribs down to the hip, back up again. And you're going to get your liver right around the lower ribs, liver and gallbladder. And then over here we got the spleen and pancreas. And this is about, when it gets tight, it's worry wart. Okay. Excellent. So just think about that. You can do both like this, back here. So we're actually stimulating our hara, because our hara is here, but really the whole area. Just localize, you're feeling excess heat or excess anger, excess worry, and excess fear, anxiety. Okay. So last week we did the chi scattering. You scatter, kind of about dissipating energy. So you want to feel your center, and we're just going to turn around our own center line. And as we come to the middle, palms down. As we turn, palms up. Remember that, Laura, from Sofia? So when you turn, you dip a little and turn. So you dip, turn. Breathe out when you turn. So you're just like swishing, like you're in water up to the waist, and you're swishing the water in front of you and the water behind you. So you see we're visualizing, we're moving, and we're breathing. Breathe in at the middle, breathe in and up, out and down. And then you can see that water you're swishing go all the way to the other side of your space. Send it out there. Try to get the water in the back moving as well. This is also very good for breaking up tension, held in frustration, anxiety. Okay, that feeling like it's getting a little easier. Everybody's looking, yeah, much more expert this week. So really pay attention that you're not leaning, that you're staying very centered. You may be going up and down a little bit, but there's no shifting out of your centeredness. So we're just keeping our feet grounded and rotating around. So a little bit strict with myself here, just to feel that turning, how much my center can turn. Okay, very good. Now bring your legs together and feel like you're like a soldier. Standing really upright with your feet under you, together, your knees together. We're gonna bring our hands to the heart center. We'll work a little bit more on heart center in a few minutes, but just feeling the heart beating. There's some places here in the chest, we talked about here, but right here along the sternum bone. Just tap that sternum bone up and down from the top and tap it. You can get a little with your knuckles especially. It's okay to be a little harder because it's a bone.